Hey, friends, this is Dale Berkebile, and welcome to a discussion about living your best life, where we interview some awesome everyday people that are sharing their stories. And, I want viewers to be inspired and maybe apply some of their own ideas that come out of these discussions or share some ideas. You can share ideas within the comments, or if you'd like to share your own ideas, you can get on the show as well. I believe everyone has a story to tell. I believe everyone can be inspiring. So I want to talk to these awesome people. So let's jump in. Today we have Gabriella Ruelas.
Ruelas.
Okay, thank you. And Gabriella, welcome. And tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am Gabriella Ruelas, originally from California and now living in Colorado. I transplanted myself about 28 years ago, choosing to raise my family in Colorado rather than California. And here I am.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, as I'm doing these videos that are kind of on the Hellagood Life brand, so to speak, I always ask, what does Hellagood Life mean to you?
Well, I've been thinking about that since you asked me to do this, and I immediately went to being my authentic self. Living an authentic life is a hella good life, because the first thing that is we always talk about is speaking the truth and being truthful and living a truthful life. So that being said, there are no veils to keep up. There are no facades to maintain. And when you do that, you actually can help your own homeostasis, your own mindset, your own physical being be more homeostasis. And when I found and learned the difference between the two, homeostasis and being an absolute chaos, you realize that you want that. You want that authenticity. You want that hella good life. You want comfort. You want to know that you have it together in your space and that you have it together here.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, that's a really good, uh, I guess, a definition and understanding. I like that, and I think
Thank
it's
you.
so important. It's easy to get hung up in all those facades that we put up to, for whatever reason, to look better, more successful, happier, or whatever. And that's one of the things that I think on social media we see quite a bit of. And so one of the things I'm trying to do on social media is disrupt that a little bit. And
Exactly. Yeah.
and so having conversations like this, I think, allows us to unveil a little bit or be more authentic. And so I'm glad that that's one of the things that stuck out to you. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question that I share sometimes that is like two questions, so you can choose the direction that you want to go with this, right? So the first is, what brings you joy, or the second is, what is your superpower? And so, do either one of those strike you, and one you'd like to run with?
I like them both because for the last 12 years that I've been divorced, I always said that my superpower was I was Wonder Woman and was always able to come in with the lasso, the magic lasso, and fix things, and repair what was going on or always patch things up. But that was the part where I also was realizing I was giving everything away and not taking care of myself. Um, so that being said, that being my superpower was I was super mom and did everything, but then learned how much I paid for it. Then what brings me the greatest joy is actually my family and my children, and the what I always like to say is the branch off my mother's tree that has just flourished. Um, and I prefer to look at that as being an amazing joy and amazing outcome of something that could have been horrendous. I look at it that
Mm,
way too. So it's a
Awesome.
two part. Those
Awesome.
kind of go together.
Yeah. Well, I like how you tie them together, I, as most people watching this will probably know, I'm passionate about self care. So, you know, giving too much away it can get kind of dangerous at times. So I
Absolutely.
like that you're
Absolutely.
noticing that self care is important. Um, this might kind of tie in with that a little bit. You know, when you're at your best, what are you doing to live your best life?
I think when I am, I thought about that one, and it's service. It is whether I'm in service to my family and my children now with the proper boundaries, or if it's in service with my community and helping those around me, a neighbor, a family friend, a church member, wherever that individual may be in my life, and I'm there and willing to give, but again, having my boundaries and giving so much, and then taking care of myself first. So
Right.
keep that balance, always keeping that balance.
Yeah, yeah, balance is huge, and I know our last guest talked about balance quite a bit, and I think that's important.
Hmm.
Um, and I think service is such a powerful way to find joy and to make impact and things like that. And so, um, yeah, that's a that's a great place to be.
Yeah.
um, I guess what is what's one of the biggest hurdles or challenges that you've had to overcome in life?
Oof. That seems to be my oh, I don't want to, the path that I have walked in various
Hmm.
stages of life have given me different hurdles and given me different um, trials and tribulations of or learning experiences, because I always want to think of myself as a lifelong learner, and that every situation or opportunity is bringing something to light for me to see in myself. Um, so I think the most recent it would be my divorce was probably the heaviest tribulation. Um, and separating from the children's father in that emotional part, and needing to then do it myself
Mm,
and not have that partner. So that was, and again, that was when I was just giving myself completely away to a job and to the household, and just not taking care of myself. And so I wasn't at my best, and I couldn't give my best. Um, and then the kids actually came and said, "You got to do something about this because this isn't working anymore."
yeah. Well, I have a lot of respect for you going that path and things like that. You know, dealing with my own kids and whatnot. Wow, doing any single parents, I have mad respect for, because raising kids is huge. And then if you
Mhm.
also have to be the breadwinner and you're doing both of those things, man, that is some serious work, and we need to show a little more respect to to those single parents.
Well, and if we
So,
realize how much just a mother, even a stay-at-home mom, what they should be making, an annual salary, is astronomical to think about. A woman is working for free, or excuse me, because there are stay-at-home dads. I apologize, Dale. I know there.
no,
Uh,
it's okay.
that stay-at-home parent, it should be making almost $172,000 a year.
Hmm,
That's the amount of labor and time, and the fact that we are never off. You're 24/7.
right, right.
That dedication.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess when you have big wins in life, how do you celebrate? How do you celebrate wins that you have in life?
And typically I'm celebrating with the family, and just lots of joy. Well, my daughter just announced she's having a baby girl, and they're out in Massachusetts. They went to New Hampshire so they could set off legal fireworks so they could all be pink. Um, so that's, just trying to do little things like that. We got together for the 4th of July, sat in my daughter's yard out in Commerce City, which had a perfect view of the Dick's Sporting Goods sports arena, which set off a fireworks
Mm.
show. So just sitting in her yard and celebrating family and being present with each other, and having the fireworks show, just off in the distance. It's one of those things where it's being with family and celebrating time or events, is that's what brings me great joy. Is and the way I like to celebrate is being with my family, and I have a huge family, so they even say
Right,
when we get
right. Yeah.
together, there's not enough time to get to spend time with each one of them. So we still then do individuals. It's insane. And with more babies on the way, it's
Right.
only going to get crazier.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's that's a sort of a funny thing. Growing up, I had a lot of my mother's side of the family had five siblings, and my dad's had three. And so I had a lot of cousins and stuff like that growing up, and we were all kind of local and things like that. So every Sunday we saw family. We went to
Hmm.
church together, we saw family and different things like that. And so that's the upbringing that I was familiar, just lots of family around, and doing this stuff all the time and things like that. And then in my uh 30s, I guess 30 probably is when I moved to Texas. um and my wife, and so I'm from Pennsylvania, and so there's a distance between all my family. And then
Mm.
my wife is was living in Fort Worth, and her family is in Houston, so they're about 4 or 5 hours apart. So we're kind of, it's interesting growing up in a time where my kids sort of don't have a whole lot of like that familyness, and it's a weird experience for someone that comes from that to have a very small uh kind of core group, or having to travel so far. So I can respect that a lot, I think. And also one of the other things that I thought was important that you said was the being present, right? Raising my sons, there are
Mm.
days that I'm just totally not present, or not, you know, taking the time to give them that quality one-on-one, or I mean, when there's multiple, one on two for me.
Right.
But that can be uh important, and sometimes we overlook that stuff, and get caught up in whatever we do. So the being present is a celebration for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I had the close knit cousins growing up. But then my children did not, because we moved to Colorado and I raised them and had, well, four of them were born here in Colorado. So they did not have cousins real close. And
Mm.
now they're all wanting to make sure that their children know each other. And they're already talking about where the one that's moved to the East Coast will be here in the summer. So every 6 months, someone will travel and be around so that they can see each other. And they're all close in age. So that they all want to keep that close knit together.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. And are the other children all sort of in the area, or do you have kids that are in different locations, different states, and things like that,
Um,
besides just the East Coast?
I have the majority of them here in Colorado. One nephew that I helped raise is back in San Diego, California. Well, he's in
Mm.
Calexico, actually. Brawley, if anybody knows that, Brawley, California. That's where he and his wife Sylvia and their son, excuse me, Jaden, they live there. And then Catherine and Tristan are out in Massachusetts. So those are our East and West Coast, and then everybody else is here um, in the Denver metro area.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, having those people on either end of the country, and then sort of being in the middle. Well, kind of the west a
somewhat.
little
Yeah,
bit, but it's can be can be kind of challenging to do that.
yeah,
But I love that they are interested in doing the travel, and
yeah.
spending some time in the summer and things like that. Um, that's wonderful. Um, What was one of your biggest successes or areas you're most proud of in life?
I would say I'm probably most proud right now of my personal accomplishments. Meaning that I have been diagnosed with dyslexia. I have a learning disability, and I have accomplished a master's,
Awesome.
which a lot of people, I've had people's jaws drop, and I thought to myself, well, it wasn't that overwhelming. It was scary in the beginning, but then when I had the support team around me and everybody knew what I needed, it wasn't that scary, and it happened. We did it. I had a support team. Yes, I had accommodations because I do have a learning disability. So I was given time, and I was given the support. Um, so I was given an editor, and that made all the difference. And I was able to get through school. So that, for my own personal, I did it. I did that by myself for myself. So that's probably my biggest, is that I accomplished school with knowing I had a learning disability. Then just the last 30 plus years of raising 9 children and being involved in 9 children's lives, and watching them all grow now and be independent and do things for themselves, but come back and ask for advice, or just, hey, I just need someone, I need a sounding board for 10 20 minutes, and this is what's going on. Am I out of my mind, or am I, am I walking the edge? Yeah.
Uh, well, those both of those are huge, and I think I have my own learning disability, so I can understand that as well. Uh, but raising nine, or and having them go out into the world and kind of step into their own and seeing all that is, I'm sure, quite amazing. I'm not there yet. I mean, but even seeing every little stage, because there's way more stages than I realized before I had kids, like, that they
Mhm.
go through, and how they change and how they evolve, and then actually sort of launching out into the world is kind of an exciting thing, I think. And the fact that they come back and ask for the sounding board, or just that sort of thing, just speaks volumes too.
Yeah.
So that's really awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, that excitement and thrill that you have when they're little, and you're thinking, who are you going to be? What are you going to be? What are you going to do in this world? How are you going to change this world? And then you're watching them walk out there in the world at 30 years old and going, oh, wow, you're reproducing and having children already? Wait a minute, what? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Right.
So, lots of exciting
Very good.
stages for you to come.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny. It seems like it's so far off, but it goes it goes pretty quickly. And kind of in a blink of an eye, you're like, holy crap! They're doing this, that, or the other thing, but
Yeah.
they grow up quick. So being present is is important while they're here.
Yep. Yep. That is it.
Um, Let me see here. Uh, so one of the things that I thought I would talk about when I'm talking about living your best life, sometimes the idea of flow comes up, like state of being in the zone or flow. Um, is there a area in life that you most feel in the zone or flow, or just kind of get lost in doing whatever you're doing?
That's a good question. I Yes, there's a couple of areas, and art is one of them. And
Awesome.
I my medium is actually photography, and
Oh,
I
cool.
love to photograph things, and that had been a hobby for a long time. Um, and that's something I actually want to get back into. But so photography, and then gardening, and growing, and I just recently, the last 2 weeks, I've been propagating all the plants in the house. Um,
Hmm.
and that I just get into the zone and forget what's going on. I can do that with the photography as well. Um, I could be out shooting pictures or doing something, and oh heck, you know, I didn't expect to be out this late or this long, you know. So those types of things. I think my hands in the dirt for sure um, is very therapeutic, and I get lost in that. And then um, the art, and even
Awesome.
visual arts. So even if it's paint on canvas, I can get lost in the arts.
That's good. That's good. I think creativity is such a powerful thing as well. And I tend to be a little bit creative, but also don't make the time for it. I struggle with that. I would love to make more time for it, but yeah, life gets busy sometimes.
Mhm.
But that's
Raising
good.
little ones for sure. Yeah.
Right, and I should find a way to bring them into the creativity and I don't know, see how that goes. But yeah, I think so. With photography, do you have a area that you focus? I know back in the day, I loved photography when I was going to art school because we used to do black and white, and we would develop the film ourselves and
Yep.
things like that. And I loved all that stuff, and I swore I was going to create a dark room and do that, build that into my home and kind of do that myself. And now the world has changed quite a bit where, we're not developing much film anymore, but
Yeah,
um,
it's wild.
do you, is there a specific area that you like, or style, or subject matter that you like to do, people versus anything else, or?
Ansel Adam is a role model. So Ansel
Okay.
Adams does black and white, and he does
Yeah.
landscapes. And
Right.
that is actually what I love. If you can tell behind me, I actually have
I
family
see.
portraits in black and white
Mm-hmm.
that I did, or I had a friend do. And then on the other side of the living room, I have Ansel Adams in black and white. So um, I like the landscape. I like the geometric diversity in landscape, um, and I like to photograph that. Um,
Yeah.
People in the photographs is fine, but I choose to do more landscape and still life than portraits.
Cool.
I like to capture
Yeah, I think.
life in the essence of life, and in things like a dewdrop coming off of a rosebud, or
Right.
the first growth on a plant, the new growth on a plant. That's more, to me, is more art than taking pictures of the family. But I still do with pictures of the family, and we get those pictures done. But that's not my medium. And black and white has always been mine. I also was one that I even had the equipment for a dark room. And in the
Oh,
yeah,
did you?
and 12 years ago, I got rid of a lot and had to sell a lot, and in order for survival skills. So yeah, and now it's okay that we've come to this new digital age that we don't need to have that in our homes, and we can go to Walmart. I'm not plugging Walmart, Costco, and any of the other little places that you can get your photographs printed in a day. So times
Yeah.
have changed, and they'll even print in black and white, and they'll even do the sepia tone, and they'll do the switch up for you. Or
Hmm.
Mike's camera, and they still do all the old stuff. So that's up here in Colorado. We have that. They do that.
Interesting. Interesting. And so those other locations will, you can actually print in some of those other,
Um,
like black and white or sepia and
you
things like that, or?
you can order. You can
Okay.
order those things. And there, where you can turn colored negatives in and ask them to print black and white and do
Mm,
that. So,
interesting.
and then there
You
are
know,
the
it's,
labs like at Mike's camera. I was saying that they're more specialty. You can get that done.
Right, right. Yeah, it's interesting when my oldest is 9 right now, and so in his life, basically we've always done digital. And when my mother-in-law was alive, she would collect some of the photos that we took and whatever, and like go and get some books printed out and things like that, which
Mhm.
is really awesome. And my kid loved flipping through the different, like a little book of that's just of the family, right?
Right.
And now that she's passed, we've really dropped the ball on collecting a lot of pictures of my littlest, who's just going to be 3 here in August. And so it's just kind of different how times change and whatnot. And I mean, now we post all kinds of stuff on Facebook and whatever else so that we can share it with family mostly. But so it's like it's a different world, I think, than printing stuff
Yes.
out. It's like I haven't been to a place to have something printed out, and oh my gosh, I don't even know how long. So
Or my kids ask me, why do we have all these photo albums? They waste so much. You're moving. Why are we moving all these photo albums? Because they're not on digital yet. I don't know.
yeah,
You got
it's
to do something
interesting.
about all these photos, Mom. They should be on the internet now.
Yeah, why aren't they just on your phone or whatever? Uh,
Right, exactly.
right? Funny. Um, so one of the other questions that I ask people in this in this program is, do you have a tip for viewers on what people can do to live their best life? So any recommendations or thoughts?
Oh, right away. Self-care, meditation, making sure each day you are your specific time, and it's a routine and you do it at the same time every day, because then the body gets into that circadian rhythm, and that renewal of meditation or prayer, and that renewal of food, and that doing that. So the meditation and prayer is just as important as putting food in the body, and doing those on a regular basis every day, and getting that into the routine. To me, that is the most important thing. Um, that self-care and holding those boundaries, um, and keeping me, it's just that center. I keep my chakras in my center, and I think of that all the time.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, well, I can back that 100% for sure. That's good stuff. And I do think that self-care is so important and often overlooked because we do give away without even thinking about it, or don't set boundaries and different things like that can cause harm. And then we just internalize that stuff sometimes, and
Yeah, I think that
it can be bad.
society, it's a societal, a societal, I want to, what do I want to call it? A catch-all, or it's a hook. And the idea that we always have to be moving and doing and creating, and then people feel they can't keep up with that, or they're not doing it. So then they fall back and feel less. And we need to get away from that. And I am good enough, and I will be enough for everyone else with my own boundaries.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And and again, I'll just share real quick. If you're watching this and you want to be on this program, reach out, comment below, say, hey, I'm interested in talking. Would love to have you on. Or Gabriella, if you know anyone else that should be on this show, I'm happy to talk to you about that later. But um, I'd also say, if you're watching this, if you liked what we're talking about, if you're interested in this topic, like or share it with anyone that you think should see this, or subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching it on YouTube. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Do you have any other thoughts or anything,
It
Gabriella,
was a great
on your end?
conversation. Great conversation. I enjoyed that. Thank you.
Well, good, good. It was great having you on, and always enjoy spending some time with you. So virtually here,
Absolutely.
but okay. Well, we'll talk to you soon, and thank you so much for everyone that's watched, and have a great day.
Thank you.